Hello and welcome. You're watching OBN Horn of Africa. This is Talk to OBN Show. I am your host, Addis Asafa. Today I joined two Ethiopian musicians, Betty G, the shining star of these days, and Henok Mahari, finest musician and instrumentalist. Before directly going to our discussion, I would like to say Happy Ethiopian New Year. I wish you a happiest and peaceful Ethiopian New Year. Betty, welcome.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a bit about your background?
Well, I was born and raised here in Addis. I went to a French high school. I've always wanted to be a singer, but with my mother we had this agreement that if I pursued my education that I would be allowed to sing. So my passion for music was almost born with me. So after graduating from high school, I went to college and graduated. I have a dual degree.
Okay, good. What about Henok?
Yeah, also born and raised in Addis, particularly in Piazza. Okay. I went to two schools, Ras Ababa, when I was in elementary, and high school was Ntoto. Then went straight to Yared Music School and graduated with piano major. So in brief, this is how.
Okay, good. This program is dedicated to Ethiopian New Year, Betty. And whenever we talk about Ethiopian New Year, our mind comes across as different things, right? Let's talk about experience of Betty. What do you feel whenever you think about Ethiopian New Year? And what are those experiences of Betty?
Well, I mean, even before New Year, we have different holidays that we celebrate. Sure. And for New Year, it's mostly for girls to gather around, and in the middle of the bonfire, we sing and dance, and we have our festivity there. And in the morning, we have to draw a paper on a paper and give our parents, and whomever give the first is going to be rewarded the most, and goes on. Child, I remember making the pictures and singing Ababa Yohor, Ababa Yoshwe, which means have you seen a flower? And I think it relates to blooming of the yellow flower that we have in this country. For New Year, and it only for a few weeks, and then it disappears. Mostly about a little girl coming of age, and she's talking, and the whole how much she loves her mother, how much she wants to have, how much she's living with her stepmother, and it's not right. So, well, it's a bit complicated to translate everything, but yeah, it has a beautiful sense in Amharic. What I like the most is the gathering and the bonfire that we do, and and the singing that we do during this holiday. Normally we don't get to do it because we travel, and most of the New Year's are the times when, as an artist, we're very busy and we celebrate with the whole world, with most Ethiopian audiences. But this year, thanks to COVID, so I'm not very happy that we have the virus, but I'm happy that it's giving us time to spend a little more, to spend the holiday with family, because normally New Year's is one of the holidays that we just miss. But as a child, of course, I grew up singing and lighting the bonfire with family.
Good, I appreciate it. Sure. And the boys sing Hoya Hoya, right?
Yes.
That should be Henok's answer. Yeah, that would be. And you have a track entitled Hoya Hoya too, right? Yeah. Tell us about it.
Funny, I never had that memory in my childhood, because my dad was very strict. We were never allowed to go out and sing with the kids, you know. It was just limited around home, you know. I remember once we were like nagging my dad, let's do this like the other kids, you know. He was not happy about it, but he allowed us, and we went, and we didn't know how to do it. And we had to take some friend from neighborhood, and he was like leading the singing, and and then it was funny for us, you know. It was strange. So when we got back home, he was so mad about. He wasn't mad about the culture and singing, but whenever kids, you know, asking for money, that part, you know, he was not happy about it. But it was just one day experience for me. But we used to do it at home, you know. That was a beautiful memory. But after a while, you know, when I went to Cox Studio, I got a chance to introduce that beautiful culture to the whole wide world. So I did a track. It was in my first album, but I got a very good chance to display that for Africa, you know, and we did an amazing job.
Apart from Hoya Hoye, there is lighting bonfire, isn't it? Sure. Have you ever done that?
Yeah, we grew up doing that, you know, with parents, family, you know. That's a beautiful culture. Yeah, we used to do that.
Good. Betty, you used to go to French school, right? Lycée Gabriel, right? Can you speak French so nicely too?
Well, fluently, because I studied everything in French. Most of my education was in French, so yes.
Can you say Happy Ethiopian New Year in French?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Je vous souhaite une meilleure bonne année.
All right. Good, I appreciate. You studied management in collaboration with a certain French university, but you didn't pursue in management career, right? But you inclined to music. Is that a personal calling?
Yes. It is my personal calling. Well, I started singing ever since I was in high school, and that was what I wanted to do. But because of the agreement that I had with my mother, I had to pursue my education. At first, the agreement was only till 12th grade, but I reached 12th grade and I finally realized that it's just the beginning of education, but not the end. So I had to go all the way to my first degree, my dual degree, and after that I decided I wanted to do full-time music.
Henny, whenever a name Henny Mahari comes to everyone's mind, the so-called Mahari brothers comes as well, right? Can you tell us a bit about Mahari brothers? And I guess you're a partner of band in Ethiopia.
In a way, we're not the very first band, but we have this unique story. Right. We came from musician parents. Me and my brothers, we grew up watching our parents, you know, enjoy, celebrate music itself.
Were they musicians too?
My dad used to be a singer, songwriter, saxophone player. Wow. My mom used to be a choreographer. Yep. It just runs in the blood. All right. So we got it from our parents, and we have this freedom. We had this freedom of, you know, enjoying music in general, art in general. I remember when we watched my parents rehearse in Hagar Fikr. So the story begins there, and me and my younger brother Roel, we joined the Art Music School. We graduated with our own instruments. I studied piano, he studied clarinet. Then he grabbed his guitar again, and he worked on his skills and, you know, crafts. Then we taught our two little brothers, and we've been always thinking about the vision, you know. We had this vision of creating a family band. So around 2006, we just decided and made that happen when Zeritu released her debut album. That was the very first experience of Mahari Brothers. So we kept on, you know, doing the music.
Okay, Betty, apart from music, currently you are a Goodwill Ambassador of UNSHR, right? Yes. What do you do there, and how did you get that chance?
Okay, well, at first I was approached by UNHCR, and they wanted to check if I was interested. And my first question was, I didn't even know we had refugees, because I felt like people were fleeing from Ethiopia and going through so many terrible situations, and I didn't know that we had refugees. So I was like, I would love to see this, and I want to know this. So after our further discussion, I ended up being a Goodwill ambassador, and I worked with them for 2 years. As a Goodwill ambassador and a high-profile supporter, you do similar things. It's basically to advocate for refugees. And advocate for your own country too, who's hosting so many refugees. Right now, recently, we have at least 900,000 refugees within Ethiopia. And I was really happy to be part of this, because at first I wanted to say what Ethiopia is giving back. Because when Ethiopia is opening their border and accepting so many refugees, it doesn't mean that we have enough or we have plenty to share, but we're just sharing whatever we have. And that should be recognized and appreciated. And at the same time, of course, because we're just a developing country, we can't provide everything. So most of our refugees that we have don't have enough. And including the host community, even Ethiopians who are like hosting these refugees don't have enough. So you go to different rural areas where they don't have access to water nor energy. So I felt like, you know, whenever we give for a refugee, then we receive as Ethiopians too. So this is what I do. I advocate for refugees and my Ethiopian host communities.
Henny, do you have any side business?
No, it's 100% music. But I have this segment of, you know, activities. I have my own TV show. I run a show. I have a studio.
Do you have your own?
Yeah. I have a. It's on Ghana. It's called Musicology. I have a 1-hour show, weekly show. It's Sundays at 7 p.m. I interview musicians, friends, and we do music together. Then I have this home studio. I produce music and stuff, and also as Mahari Brothers, we do a lot of shows. You know, we engage ourselves. So it's all about music.
Betty, in Oslo, while PM Abiy Ahmed took the Nobel Peace Prize, you were the one who sang a song entitled Hagre and Sinjalada, right? How was your reaction? I mean, your feeling on that podium?
You have a very mixed feeling. You're just so happy that you finally made it and you're there. But at the same time, you're so scared because it's a lot of responsibility. You're representing a country, not yourself. Of course, everywhere you go, you represent your country, but this is on a bigger scale. You have royalties, you have kings and queens, and a lot of officials from a very high position, and you have your own prime minister. So it's very scary. It's if you do wrong, then you mess everything up. Sure. So it's a lot of burden, and everybody's quiet.
You were live.
Yes.
Internationally.
Yes. The pressure is from every corner.
Sure.
And at the same time, it's a quiet room. It's like you can't hear a single drop. It's so quiet. So everything that you say is heard. Yes. Yes. So you can imagine the stress. Before we reached the stage, I was sweating like crazy. My palms were full of sweat. I was like drying it on my dress because I can't even have a napkin. I won't throw it on the stage. It's a royal gathering, so it's really stressful. And of course, we practiced a day before that we have to bow for the royals. We have to bow for our prime minister. So it's very scary. I still don't know. I don't know. Well, the first thing that happened was it was a surprise. So we were not told. We were told not to inform everyone. Nobody from Ethiopia. So this is why nobody knew. No journal. Even Hinok Mari didn't know. I didn't tell him. The only people that knew was extremely too close. Or it's just close family. And even my mom, I told her, but I didn't tell her how big it was. I just said, I'm just going to go have a performance, and that's the only thing she knew. It was supposed to be kept as a surprise, even for the prime minister. So that's why it was held as a secret. But the Nobel Peace Prize organizing committee of Oslo were the ones who did the selection. I asked why they chose me. but they didn't answer.
Have you been chosen by them?
Yes.
Wow.
The choice was made.
From Ethiopian government.
No, but exactly what I'm trying to say. It was a surprise for the Ethiopian government,
Right.
including the prime minister. It was a surprise. That's why I said, that's why the pressure was so much, because it was a surprise. And you know, he was supposed to be really surprised and happy. If he was disappointed, then no, what's the point? But and they said they were just happy they chose me, but they never explained why they chose me. I don't know. I think it's God helping me, I guess, in a way.
The sang a Fan Oromo song entitled Sinjalada on that podium, right?
Yes.
Is that part of your music so far, or you rehearsed it to present it there?
No, I released my second album in 2018, and it was part of my album. It was in the album. In Hagare, both songs were in my second album. So it was not a newly made song for that stage, but we had to rearrange it so so it can be acoustic.
Please, Betty, I urge you to play it now, to sing it now.
Okay.
Do it.
እኔ የሸገር ልጅ አንተ ከቦረና ለፍቅር ሰጠን እጅ ህልማችን ተሳካ ስታወራኝ ያኔ ለዛ ባለው ቋንቋ ምንም ባላውቀውም ውስጤ ግን ተረዳ
Appreciate. What about Sinjalada in Afan Oromo? Can you do it? Yeah.
I can't do the whole thing.
Do it.
I can't do the whole thing in Orominya, but the only part that that has Orominya in it is Manaketi maniko kangote jalelan. Manaketi maniko kangote jalelan. That's the only Orominya part that I have in that song. And of course, in the second verse, I use the word Sinjalada instead of saying I love you but I prefer to use Sinjalada.
Okay, Henny, what's your measurement for good and bad?
Good and bad. For me, life itself is about righteousness and knowing God. So every good thing comes from God. So that's it. And the rest is bad. There isn't mediator, I mean, immediate. You have to be with God or the other side. So good is, for me, God is good.
Okay, Mahari Brothers is a family crew, right? Brothers crew, right? But there is a saying, a proverb, don't mix business with family and don't mix business with pleasure. But you disproved that. Can you say about it?
Yep.
Can you say
it doesn't work in our context.
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't work. The thing is, you enjoy family, business, and pleasure together. You can even. I see it as a blessing. Growing up together with my brothers and having this profession. Celebrating music together. That's a blessing. I call it a blessing. So, if you manage it in a healthy way and in a fair way, it's something that you enjoy.
Good. You guys are beyond, just Ethiopian musicians. You have participated in Coke Studio and Afrim as well, right? You transcend to another African wise, you see? Can you tell me about that experience?
We both shared these two African stages, for us as a musician, we always pursue to go further in our career, to experience how the rest of the world, the rest of Africa thinks musically. For me, when I go to Coke Studio for the first time in 2016, I was expecting to challenge myself. We never had a chance to expose our music to the rest of Africa. So that was the very first experience for me. So when I go there and experience the whole thing, I figured out that we are capable of doing even more than that. So that experience gave us a lot of energy, a lot of dimension, even to go further. So right after Coke Studio, I got nominated on Afrima in 2016 for Best R&B and Soul Artist in continental categories, and then in 2016 I won that award, and it was imaginable. I mean, more than my imagination, because we never had that opportunity, you know. Yeah, so we always, you know, try to go further in our career, and that was a very good experience for us. Even
well, I would say that the experience was similar. I went the next year. I went twice on Coke Studio. What I appreciate the most is, for the longest time, Ethiopia was isolated, and whatever we did was within Ethiopians and for Ethiopians. Even if we go abroad, is for the Ethiopian diaspora. But I really wanted to branch out, because I felt like we have so much to give for the world, and we have so much to take from the world at the same time. And the Coke Studio experience kind of opened a window for that. And we were able to work with different artists from different African countries, and we were able to express ourselves at the same time. To my surprise, there were so many people who didn't even know that Jamaicans use our flag, and they thought we were using their flag. So for me, it was like I was introducing them to a whole new world. And I was so happy and proud to be there and to learn, because when you meet artists, you're not just creating music, but you're learning different cultures, you're absorbing so many things, and you're giving it back. And I would say it was a beautiful experience.
How do you describe the development of Ethiopian music comparing with that of other African countries?
I think it takes its own course. For the moment, the leading, the big, huge music industry of Africa is in Nigeria. But it's not because we don't have. It's not because we don't have enough skill or we don't have enough sound. We pretty much have more to give, but we don't have a lot of investors. In Nigeria, they have so many investors that think the music or entertainment industry is worth spending money. We don't have that here, but it's slowly coming. The music is not out there, and people are not listening to it just because we don't have investors. But the talent, but the art, and the potential is really here. And I believe the next mega huge music industry or the entertainment industry will be in Ethiopia, because we're the second highest populated country.
What do you recommend? What do you urge? You guys, Betty, you did one song a while ago, and Henny, I expect one. Your best track, you're going to right play it now. Sure, live. Let's do it. Do it.
I need my piano.
All right. Doesn't matter. Do it.
Okay. I will do my.
Betty, think about it. A best track.
Of myself?
Yeah, next to Henny.
I hate doing this, man.
Do it.
At least I need my piano.
All right. Doesn't matter. Do it.
Okay. I will do my one song.
About it. The best track.
Of myself?
Yeah, next to
Henny. You're going to do another song.
Yeah.
This is a song which I wrote for my wife and my kids, and it got me awarded for Afrima. And I okay, let me do that song.
Do it.
እምባና ሳቅ ተደባልቀው እናውቃለን ቀምሰናቸው ከፍ ዝቁንም አይተነዋል ብዙ አሳልፈን ብዙ ኖረናል ትዝ ይልሻል ያወራነው ትውሳለሽ ያደረግነው ይገርመኛል ይደንቀኛል አንዳንዴማ ያስቀኛል ወድሻለው 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 ወድሻለው
Wow, really appreciate. Okay, thank you very much, Betty. That's your turn.
Okay. So I'm going to pick the song that recently during COVID time released an album entitled Nagat. Us artist friends, so we can collect and help the ones affected by COVID. And one of the songs that I gave was Waga. So I'd love to do that. Okay. ያላሰብነው ሲሆን መንገድ ጀምረን አደጋ ሲገጥመን ግራ ጋብቶን ሁሉ ነገር ትርምስምሱ ሲወጣ የጠበቅነው ቀርቶ ያልጠበቅነው በህይወታችን ሲመጣ ዋጋ አለው ህይወት ስታልፍ መከራ እንደ ወርቅ እሳት ውስጥ ተፈትና ስትሰራ ዋጋ አለው መታገስ አይደለም ለከንቱ እንቁ ሲታሽ ነው እኮ የሚደምቀው ውበቱ
Betty, I have heard that Betty is a voracious book eater. You read a lot. Who is your best author in the world and best book ever?
My best book.
And author.
My best book is The Far Pavilion by MMK. It's about an Indian family that is mixed with a British family, and it's the story about them. And through that you learn different cultures. You learn about the Indian family culture, and you learn the British culture while they were still in India. And there's a love romance between that. So it's a very long book.
Just tell us the synopsis of the story.
The synopsis of the story, this is it. It's about two different cultures meeting together and has a life. But my favorite writer is Paulo Coelho. And yes. And I like the way he sees the world with different glasses.
Is more of about personal calling, right?
Yes, personal callings. Actually, most of his books are just personal callings, but different. But The Alchemist is the one that was really famous, and he was really known for that.
Is a Brazilian author?
Yes, he's a Brazilian. He's a Brazilian author.
I appreciate it. Betty, I'm going to challenge you. Ethiopians celebrate a holiday. Let's talk about Ethiopian New Year specifically.
Okay.
They celebrate, and we celebrate by slaughtering hens. Can be goat or sheep.
Yes.
And we make bread, and we just make popcorn, see, and different stuffs, right?
Yes.
You're expected to tell us how to make a traditional bread. I'm not going to ask you the
traditional bread.
The chicken stew stuff, I guess. Can you make it? The chicken stew, the dough.
Well.
It's a little bit tough, I guess.
No, I think the chicken stews. They're both.
Do it. The chicken stew.
The chicken stew. Okay. So first.
Suppose you're telling for someone who doesn't know about it.
Okay. So first, normally you slaughter the chicken after 8 in the evening. Those who fast, you're not supposed to slaughter it during fast season. So the first thing that you do is you work on the stew first before you add the chicken. You grind the onion and you cook it with butter. Normally, if it's chicken stew, you're not supposed to add oil. So you use butter and you cook it, and you add a spice called berbere, and you add that and you mix and you cook, and you have to really cook it for a very long time until it loses its, it's not hot. And after that, you slaughter the hen, and now there comes the hard part. Yeah. You have to peel the hair, the feather, and you have to wash the skin of the chicken. Sorry. Not lemon first, but you have to use a food we eat called shoro. It's a chickpea that's grind. Yeah. So you have to powder it and then oil it and water it and wash it with water, and you have to blow the chicken's skin, so it can be inflated and lets go of the rest of the organs that and then you peel the skin. Some people throw the skin, and some people put the skin in the stew, and then you have to separate 12 parts of the chicken, and that's 12 parts only that you're going to use, and then you wash it with lemon and salt, and you have to wash it for a very long time. It's pretty much torture it, and a lot of people think that the hardest part is to cut the chicken, but that's not the hardest part. The hardest part is the washing, because you have to do it for a very long time, and you have to smell it. You have to check. The smell has to go away, and then you put it in the stew, and you mix it.
12 sub-bodies, right?
Yes. Yes. 12. I did. No, I did. No, I did. I did at first. I said you have to cut the 12 parts.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm not asking about cooking. How to cook? Okay.
He did.
I know how to buy it. Maybe.
Okay, shall I say? Anyway, you do have a song entitled
Hoya Hoye. Yeah.
And we are going to wrap up our discussion by singing Hoya Hoye Beti Ababa Yehosh, because this program is dedicated to Ethiopian New Year. And once again, we wish a happiest, prosperous, and peaceful Ethiopian New Year. Henny, just play the Hoya Hoye.
You can play that from Cox Studio Stations. No. I'm not going to do that.
Do it, brother.
Man, I studied that. To do that, I had to ask people to write the lyrics. I had to collect the lyrics, and right now, I cannot do that.
It's public lyric. Betty gonna play Ababa Yehosh. It's the final task, Betty.
Too bad I don't have so many girls that are gonna say lem lem with me. Okay. Okay. Ababa Yehosh, Ababa Yeshoy, ባልንጀሮቼ ግቡ በተራ እንጨት ሰብሬ ቤት እስክሰራ እንኳን ቤትና የለኝም አጥር እደጃ አድራለሁ ኮከብ ስቆጥር ኮከብ ቆጥሬ ስገባ ቤቴ ትቆጣኛለች የእንጀራ እናቴ አደይ የብር ሙዳይ ኮለልበይ This is it. Okay.
Thank you for your time. I really appreciate you. Now I urge you to extend a happy New Year wish to Ethiopian and other people around the globe.
I wish this new year will bring us peace, prosperity, and love and good health.
I would like to wish all Ethiopians all over the world a very happy, prosperous New Year.
Dear viewers, you have been watching Talk to OBN Show. This program is dedicated to Ethiopian New Year. Thank you for watching. Bye.